Do you remember when your mother told you honesty is the best policy? Yeah, that wasn't true. Not all the time, anyway. As Exhibit A, I present Jim Mora Jr. He has spent half of this week tearing down his former quarterback, Josh Rosen, and then the other half trying to say he didn't. You've no doubt heard about this by now. Mora said of Rosen, quote, "He needs to be challenged intellectually so he doesn't get bored. He's a millennial. If he can hold his concentration level and focus only on football for a few years, he will set the world on fire." Well, for the record, Rosen was born the year after Baker Mayfield and the year before Sam Darnold and Josh Allen, so he is no more or less a millennial than they are. What Mora was saying actually sounded a lot like code for he doesn't love football. Now Mora is trying to suggest he didn't mean to diminish Rosen, and maybe he didn't mean to, but the point is he did it, whether he meant to or not. And the reason is because he answered a question honestly, and sometimes that isn't the right thing to do. Mora would have been much better served doing what all the other coaches do, praise their players so effusively that no one pays any attention. That's the way this game is played. Look at all the trouble he could have saved himself and his player, and that seems like a much more sensible policy to me. Booger McFarland, your thoughts?
Well, here's the thing I'll say. You say he doesn't love football. You can't play this sport without loving it. You don't have to be in love with it, but you have to love it because it's a physical sport by nature. You have to put a lot of time and effort. He also talked about challenging him mentally. What other quarterback have we seen talked about like that? Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was a guy that could handle a wealth of football information. He needed to be stimulated. He needed to be challenged. So I tend to look at it in two ways. Number one, I still say he doesn't want Josh Rosen going to Cleveland. Nothing against Cleveland.
But you stuck with this.
Because I don't think he wants him to go there. And two, I just think this is a young man that has to be stimulated by a great coach, a great offensive mind to bring out the best in him. So I'm not looking at this as a negative. I'm looking at it as a positive.
You look skeptical, Dees.
Well, it's a bizarre place to be in when you live in a world where basically you're saying this kid's just a little intelligent and he needs other things for his mind to stay happy, and it might not be that football by itself is enough, and we're living in a world where that's an insult. That's what bothers me about the whole thing. God forbid he has a couple other interests outside the game of football, and it doesn't take away from his passion for that.
In the National Football League, Jalen, that is an insult. Remember last year, Myles Garrett had this fascination with dinosaurs. Remember, he was interested in dinosaurs. People are all worried about he's interested in dinosaurs, so will he be there for you when it's -6?
We were worried about him playing soft, though, Green.
Exactly.
Like that was his deal. This kid if you turn the tape on, the tape is there for Josh Rosen. He's the best pure passer in this draft.
Mora sounds bitter, like a coach that got fired after the USC game. Who was the quarterback? Rosen. And by the way, didn't he just coach a collegiate team full of millennials? Like, that doesn't even make sense from a guy who grew up in a football family.
It makes no sense to me.
He's singling this guy out from a group of people who are exactly in the same demographic.
But I got to ask one question, and you kind of alluded to it. What if he's telling the truth?
Oh, I think there's no question he's telling. He has no reason to be saying that if it isn't true, and that's the point. That, in my opinion, is going to make the general managers of the Browns and the Giants and the Jets and the Broncos and the Cardinals and the Bills and all the other teams that are interested in quarterbacks, it is going to make them at least look a little deeper.
Yeah, he's still going top 5, though.
He will. Yeah. And Mel and Todd will be here in about an hour, and we'll show you they both have him going to the same place.
But I love that he had a hot tub in his dorm room.
Right?
Well, they made him take it out after he had too many
that would have
friends
been a
over.
problem.
Nobody likes fun.
Just leave that alone, shall we?